I am Shane Anderson with the Pike Group Royal LePage Atlantic with another interview. I'm certainly not a connoisseur or critic of fine art, but I do have some friends that kind of are. Mentioned this place. I'm at 14 Bells, a fine art gallery in the Hydrostone Market. We're going to go in, we're going to have a quick chat with Cheryl. She's one of the owners. We're going to learn a little bit about her, a little bit about the business, and more than likely, hopefully leave with a little more knowledge on art. So let's go on in and meet Cheryl. All right, I am here with Cheryl, and Cheryl is part owner of 14 Bells Fine Art Gallery. So let's start off, Cheryl, with just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm here in Halifax. I've been here for about 15 years, from Ontario via Alberta. Here married, my husband's from Newfoundland, and we've been here, like I said, about 15 years. And I started my art career years ago in Banff, Alberta, at Canada House Gallery with the McCaffery Pelham family. And I got a lot of background there. And then when I found myself in Nova Scotia years ago, I actually ended up selling used cars for many years. Wow. And it was a great job, but wasn't exactly my dream. And when I decided I wanted to open my own business, I looked back at my experience and what my passions were and realized I know how to do art, thank you to my background in Alberta, and so here we are. I wanted to have it here in the North End. I was lucky enough to find this beautiful space in the Hydrostone. I live here in the North End, so I can walk to work, and that was about 4 years ago, and things are going very well.
Excellent. So why the North End?
Well, because at the time there really wasn't a dedicated fine art gallery. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of art and a lot of artists in the area. Since I've opened, and it was already beginning, there's a lot of new homes as well and a lot of renovated homes. So I saw a lot of blank walls in my mind, and I just love the area. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I was lucky enough to get in the actual Hydrostone Market, and I love this space. Yeah, it is beautiful. It's beautiful. So I mentioned just before I came in, I am not a critic of art. I mean, I certainly can appreciate beautiful art. My fiance, she dabbles in artwork. So why don't you take us on through and kind of show us the different artists now? And something I've seen on your website, predominantly most of the artists here are from Nova Scotia and some are from away. Yeah, so our mandate is to support working contemporary Canadian artists. And because of kind of my experience of having lived or worked in most parts of Canada, I have exposure to all that. Just logistically, most of the artists are from here in Nova Scotia. Some of them are as local as a couple of blocks away. Wow. But they only have to be quality and smart. Mm-hmm. And accessible is kind of my mandate for that. So that is the mandate, original Canadian art. Awesome. And we have about 30 artists that we represent on a full-time basis. Mm-hmm. And then we bring in some guest artists for different events or exhibitions that we do. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So let's start with where we are right now. So Visions of Nova Scotia, I see by Rhonda Marina. Yeah, so Rhonda is a local artist. She works out of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And this is an exhibition that's just wrapping up. These are the few pieces that are left after a month of exhibition that we had. And Rhonda took last summer, where she was supposed to be doing quite a bit of traveling, but obviously, like the rest of us, she took advantage of the Atlantic bubble and traveled all around Nova Scotia and took pictures and created this beautiful collection of paintings of scenes here in Nova Scotia. It was a very successful show. Yeah. And we're just getting ready for our next show in March, mm-hmm. which will be, it's going to be called the Corvid Show, not the COVID show, but the Corvid Show. I was just going to say, not mistaken by. Yes, exactly. So it's a group, it's going to be, let me make sure I get this right, 3 artists mm-hmm. that are doing crows and ravens, so some sculpture and some paintings. So that'll be cool. In March. In March. Awesome. Right here, here on our feature wall is Peter Goff. Mm-hmm. Peter Goff unfortunately passed away in December. He is a very well-known Atlantic Canadian artist. He's actually known across the country, very well collected in corporate collections. He is actually the man behind the bill that's currently in the Canadian Senate to create an artist laureate for the country. So he's been working on that for years and years and years. Unfortunately, he passed away before that was actually a bills, but we're just waiting to hear, and hopefully we'll get good news on Peter's behalf in the next few weeks to months on that.
Very nice.
So this artist here, or this wall, is actually a family affair of artists. The main artist here, her name is Rajola. She's originally from Finland, but has lived here in Nova Scotia on the Knowles Shore for years and years, with her husband, Douglas Drudel, who is a wood artist, and he makes these beautiful walnut frames. And she works in textiles, so this is all felting. And she is definitely world class, probably at the top of the game as far as that artwork, or that craft goes. And the last bit of work that she delivered to me was just last week, these beautiful panels, and she came in with her son, her adult son, who actually dyed and carved these pieces around Santa's textile work. So this, we've got mother, father, and son involved in this artwork.
Beautiful.
And then to continue the animal theme, we have another local artist, R.J. Marchand, who's from here in Halifax, and he does these beautiful wildlife pieces. And he's going to be part of our Corvid show in March. So I'm excited to see some ravens depicted by Bob.
Nice.
So one of our most popular artists here in the gallery is Mark Grantham. Many people know Mark's work and come in specifically to see his work. I'm very excited to say that this April we're having a solo show for Mark, and he hasn't had a solo show in the city for about 5 or 6 years. So we're very excited about that. Lots of people know Mark from the Seaport Market. He sells his cards and prints there. Well, he did, he doesn't anymore, but we're very excited to have Mark on board and to see a full collection, which, like I said, the city hasn't seen for many years. This artist is Peter John Reed, and Peter John Reed has been with the gallery since we opened 4 years ago. And these are beautiful scenes of Nova Scotia, although Peter is actually from Ontario. He spends a couple of weeks here every summer and takes thousands and thousands of photographs, and then spends his winter in his Ontario studio painting. This is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite spots, Burnt Coat Head. Peter also does a lot of teaching, and when he comes here, he does a painting workshop here in the gallery. Unfortunately, he didn't get here this summer, but we're aiming for the next time he's able to come to have another class here with Peter.
Excellent. So here's something for you. So somebody just purchases a home, and which is pretty much a blank canvas. Maybe they have a special room, maybe a bedroom, maybe a den. What are some things, some tips that we can use to kind of help us select a piece of art for that room?
Well, hopefully they already have something in that room that is special to them, whether it's some art that they already own or some furniture or heirlooms or fabric or something. But one of the main things that I want to tell people is that if you are planning to put original art in your home, start looking or pick out at least one signature piece before you do something like paint your walls or choose your fabric or your curtains, because it's a lot easier to change the paint color on your wall than to find that exactly perfect piece of art that you like. We do offer some services here at the gallery that can help you. I can do a consultation with you. Also, we have an on approval, so you can take a piece home overnight to see if it looks good. We do short-term rentals, so you can live with a piece for a week or two to see if it is the right piece. Because one of the things that I've always learned is that I never want someone to have a painting in their house or a piece of art in their house that they're not happy with. So it has to be perfect.
That is great. All right.
Yeah. So another thing about that too is that a lot of people are moving into new homes, and sometimes they're downsizing. So I hear a lot that they don't have room; their walls are full. So my solution to that is then you need to move to sculpture. If your walls are full, let's find you some sculpture. So this is an artist here that is, his name is Bill Gimby, and he's from Hubbard. It's down on the South Shore, and he does these beautiful atmospheric pieces with driftwood and beach stones, and they're very organic. But if you look closely at them, there's so much skill and composition and fine art involved in them. These have been very popular in very modern condos and also rustic beach houses. They're just beautiful pieces by Bill.
Beautiful. All right, so outside of your exhibits, do you have like any events throughout the year that people can come and enjoy?
Yes, well, I think our signature event, which we've had since we first opened, is each September we do an event called Paint the Hydrostone. So it's very much like the plein air events that are throughout the world and throughout the province, but I think we're the only one that's here right in the city. So artists can apply to paint outside over the course of a weekend and paint scenes of here in the Hydrostone Market or throughout the neighborhood. And then we sell that work, and for a portion of that, the proceeds go to Brigadoon Village, who is our neighbor here in the Hydrostone Market. Their offices are right beside us. So we've been doing that. This year we adapted it, and we actually stretched it over a whole month so the artists could come wherever they wanted, because it usually does draw quite a crowd, and we obviously wanted to avoid that this year. So we still did it. We still raised some money from Brigadoon, and we get beautiful pieces that come out of this. This piece right here is by a local artist named Suzanne O'Callaghan. Now this isn't one that she did plein air. This is obviously one that she took home and worked at in the studio. And it's very, very well done. And it's of our neighbor's Props Floral right down the street.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'm looking to buy a piece of art. So what are some things that I would look for in purchasing? What's the kind of the process that I would take in purchasing a piece of art for my home?
Well, absolutely the most important thing is buy what you love. There's no point buying anything for any other reason other than you love it. Obviously things will come into consideration like cost and size and any other logistics like that, but the number one thing is buy what you love. When you look after years of collecting and look back, you'll realize that everything you bought you love, and it all goes together because that common theme is something that you love. And you can talk about lots of other things. I mean, you obviously want to deal with a reputable artist or gallery and that sort of thing, and it's wonderful to support local and working artists, but buy something that you love. One of my biggest things I say to people when they're considering a piece of work and they just really can't decide, I say walk away. Because if you walk away and you're still thinking about it by the time you get out the door or hit the street, then come back, and if you're not, then we'll find something else for you. And if you're just new to art buying, then I say visit every gallery in the city and go online and look, because the more you see, the more you know what you like and what you don't like. And there's no snap decisions. Even people that come in and say I want that and they buy it, it's not a snap decision. They've honed that skill and they know what they like.
Amazing. Cheryl, thank you so much for taking the time. I came in here not knowing a whole lot about art. I see art. I go when I'm viewing properties and stuff, you see it. And like you just said, you kind of always gravitate towards a certain theme, colors, patterns. So I leave here well informed. So people can find you on social media. I'm assuming you're everywhere.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. We have a fully e-commerce website. So you can find us there at 14bells.com.
Excellent. I'll put the links below in the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Talk to you again.
All right, well, that was great. Certainly left it with a new appreciation for art. Gotta admit, that was my first time in an art studio and certainly won't be the last. Big thank you to Cheryl for taking the time out with me today. If you're ever in the Hydrostone Market and you want to check out the 14 Bells Fine Art Studio, definitely come down and take a walk through some beautiful, beautiful artwork from a lot of talented artists here in Halifax and all across Nova Scotia and Canada. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.